So that right there is the yeast experiment beer. So we'll talk about that one today, and we'll go over some other stuff. So age has done this one well. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Age has really helped it. We'll talk about it, but well, I really don't need to do a review of it because we'll all do them. I don't want to influence anyone. So Tuesday night. So tomorrow's Homebrew Wednesday. So let's we'll sit down. Well, actually, let's go. We'll go take a walk. As I turn you guys around there, you guys can maybe hear there's some percolating in there. So you guys will see a video of my finger here of my RO cart. So I'll talk about my plumbing of my RO cart. So I've talked about it before, but you guys can never really see it. So that is cold water I plumbed here. To the right of that is the flow meter and valve for my water meter. So during brew days, when I don't use RO water, I just tell I need so many liters of water, hit the go button, and everything's a go. Fills everything up. Stops right when it needs to. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to take this 90 right there. 90 is going to go off. That's going to remain. I'm going to put a T on this nipple, and on this T there'll be a valve out here. That way, if I ever want to use the house cold water, I can use that. And if I ever want to use the RO system, I'll stop it right here so it doesn't travel the length of the RO system, just to save me some water. So if I ever have to do any kind of maintenance to the system, I can either connect it, I can disconnect it at that point. So then everything on the right side of the T, whoops, all this will remain the same on the right side of the T. It'll just be a T instead of a 90. So then I have a piece of PEX that's going to run all the way over, walking somewhere over in this area. I'm going to have another brass half MPT to half PEX, just like that. And that'll come over here somewhere. And at that point, I'll have another valve. And on that valve, I have a cam lock quick disconnect, which would be, the valve will look similar to that. I have a quick disconnect on that sucker. So then I can stop it right there if I ever need to quick disconnect the barrel. And so it's totally self-contained. It'll just roll around. One thing I did Saturday is I smashed this, that right there. I smashed it up against the back here, and I broke one of the wires off. So I got to resolder that. So excuse me. But anyway, so then see that's also cold water, and I use that just for cooling. Well, that's going to be my feed line for the RO system. So I'll go ahead and tap in there. It'll only be running when I need the water. It's not going to be always on. So then that'll run over and fill. Then on the pump side, well, let's just go sit down and we'll have a talk so I don't give you guys some kind of convulsions or whatever. So on the barrel side, on the pump, I'll make, what I'm going to do, I've got half MPT to PEX. So these come with a pump, and this is plastic, but it's PEX crimpable. So I'll crimp that like that, so that'll be one piece. Whoops, sorry about that. And from that point, I'll have, where are you at here? Let's see, I am going to have This will be, let me get this up here for you guys. So this will be together like that. All right, so this will be hanging off the pump. So then I'll have, this is garden hose cam lock, like that. So I'll go garden hose, the white garden hose, the water safe drinkable garden hose. That'll go up to the wall. So pretty simple. Pull it off. Be just like swapping out lines during a brew day. So yeah, I've got a shit ton of copper fittings in stainless steel and brass over here. A couple valves, you know, all that stuff. I need to get some PEX, some 1/2-inch PEX, and go from there. So yeah, oh Jesus, let me scoot over here. Crap, this is the crappiest video ever. So yeah, I've got my plumbing figured out, what I need to do. Won't take me very long to plumb that. So really, I've got maybe a couple hours worth of work by the time I get the barrel finished with the, you know, with the drilling for the lid, into the lid, and all that plumbing done. Then this plumbing here, which is not going to be long, the cleanup, the install, the flushing, all that stuff. So I got a few hours worth of work ahead of me. So yeah, and that's pretty much it for that one. I'll be right back. So, had to go get my beer. Still, clarity's not the best. You can see the bubbles rising, but WLP 644 is just not going to give you a clear beer unless you filter it. So, got all that done. So, Saturday, I brewed a beer Saturday. I brewed my SJ Pour, potential SJ Pour beer. Day went great, other than when I broke the line on the probe. But I swapped out the probe with the line that feeds the probe on the mash tun. So I swapped at the box, swapped behind the kettle. Everything was fine. Didn't miss a beat. So I can't tell you anything about the beer, but it's bubbling away. Smells awesome. One thing I did, I just about effed myself pretty good. All the grains, everything specialty grains, anything other than 8 pounds, 4.8 ounces of Turo. Well, I looked at this in the 8 and I said, 3 pounds, 4.8 ounces of Turo. So I went through all my mash. I got about half an hour left, and I realized I've got a lot of water in here. My gravity's low. I looked at my paper and I was like, fuck, I just shorted myself 5 pounds of grain. So I went ahead and crushed 5 pounds of grain. Went ahead and mixed everything together. Set my mash out for another half an hour. So just extended my day for a half an hour. And yeah, gravity came right back. Your conversion is usually over 15 minutes or so. So half an hour is not going to, it's going to give me everything I need. Which it did. Sparged. Went through everything. Hit my numbers. I'll tell you my numbers. 8 gallons in the pot now. Pre-boil, I was at 1055. I ended up changing some of my hops around. Really one hop around. I didn't have any Chinook, so I swapped that out for some Azacca. And why did I choose Azacca? Because that's what I had on hand with a similar alpha acid. So what I did, I swapped that out and I added the Azacca to the Whirlpool. And it's not an IPA. Just telling you, it's not an IPA. So then, let's see here. Then after Whirlpool, I was at 1067, and that's going in the fermenter. So I've got somewhere just over 6 gallons by the time you calculate loss with the chiller and the pump and the lines. So, excuse me. Yeah. So I've got a little over 6 gallons of beer in there. which should be getting pretty close to terminal. Probably today's Tuesday evening. After it's Saturday, it was bubbling away just a few hours after I pitched. Excuse me. So everything's looking good. Let's see. A dilemma I have, I've got to add in a second edition of my adjunct. But after, I'm going to be here next week, and then I'm going on vacation week after. So I've got to pick how long, time period for my adjunct, and if I'm going to have time to keg that beer. So it'll probably sit at current temp and just sit for another week, and then I'll be gone for a week. So then I can add in the second edition of the adjunct and cold crash. So one thing, so that's my dilemma. I'm screwing myself my vacation. I my time management is awful. I should have brewed earlier, but I didn't have anything to do Saturday. I mean, there's always stuff to do when you own a house, but anyway, I had time Saturday. I made time Saturday. One more thing I'll show you guys. A couple weeks ago, I bought 150 of these little pipettes. You get these when you buy like your refractometers. They'll come with one or a few of them. So after a few weeks ago, I was getting so aggravated with my refractometer. I emailed the company that made it, and they replied back with basically is it calibrated, which it's always calibrated, and the automatic temperature correction is only good up to 85 degrees. That's basically what they told me. So I said, fine. I'm not going to try to be an ass and say, hey, your product is garbage and all this stuff. So I still got it. I'm using it. If you guys ever watch Gash Slug, right? Now he'll use these religiously. Whenever he takes samples, he'll take it, then he puts the tip in ice water and cools everything down. So I did that Saturday, and my refractometer is fucking dead nuts, the same as my hydrometer. So they're right, I'm wrong. I'm expecting too much out of the tool, and we'll leave it at that. But anyway, yeah, it's a good little thing, right? And I didn't put it in ice water. I put it in just tap water, which my tap water is like 43 degrees. So yeah, cool it down. Then take the temperature. Then take your gravity reading, and it is spot on, right with my hydrometer. So I can't complain. I just putting this in the boiling wort is crazy because this heat tolerance is nothing. Absolutely bull crap. I guess I could always pick something out a little bit better, but for like $6, you get 150 of these. So it's pretty cheap. All right, guys. I'm going to dip out. So you guys have seen what I'm going to do with my plumbing. There's a video coming up about the barrel. So yeah, it's basically it. And I did use RO water. Just jumping off all over the place. Can't keep my train of thought. So that beer I got in there Saturday is all RO water. So yeah, it's not an IPA. It's not a pale ale. Just so you know. So yeah, there's more to come with the RO system. It's pretty much, it's there. It's just between now and vacation, I don't know if I'm going to get time to finish it up. I got to buy some picks. I've got all the clamps and the tools and all that stuff to do the installation for everything. It's just finding the time and doing it, which I can do the plumbing probably in an evening after work at some point. So anyway, guys, that's it for me. I'm going to sign off and I'll say cheers. All right, the cart. That's it. That's the cart with the 30-gallon barrel. It's about, 90% finished. I got to do some alterations to the lid. so I can suck water out of it as well as put water in through it. So yeah, so that's the base. Casters, I got 2 swivels and 2 stationary ones. I got some wiring I'm going to have to deal with. Let's try to tighten it up a little bit. It's not wired yet. The wires are just sorted together. But I'm going to have to get those a little bit watertight. I've got a, you can see right there at the top, it's a 30 amp fuse. The manufacturer of the pump recommended there's a 30 amp fuse in mine, which I've got at the top. Then I've just got an outlet here at the bottom, and you can probably see on the back side there's a rubber grommet there, and the wires go through that rubber grommet. And yeah, so everything gets wired at that outlet, and then an extension cord from that outlet to the bottom there, which that has a 15 amp fuse in that switch. So that 30 amp is probably overkill. But anyway, that's that. So I've still got to plumb the pump. So I have one line, obviously going in, and the other one would be going to the plumbing I'm going to have to put into the basement. And I'll show you guys a little bit of that more later. But anyway, you guys can see there, that is the inlet. That's where the water from the house goes in. So that's right at that post. So it goes through everything, and then it comes out in here. One of those 2 lines, I'm going to say product, but I got to read through the instructions and flush it and clean it and get all that stuff ready. Then it's going to go through this filter, and that's like a polishing filter. So from that point, it'll go into the barrel. So I shouldn't need much tubing to do all this. So yeah, these are just those clips I had to buy. Those are 2-inch clips designed for these filters. Does not come with the filter, but yeah, so there's going to be a line. I've got a float. Everything's kind of ready to go. I am going to get a plastic or a rubber mat and put on the bottom. So really, in a nutshell, I've got to clean the barrel. I'll run some cleaner probably through the pump. But yeah, that's pretty much the it of everything. My extension cord there is a bit long. The initial thought, I was going to have the pump on the same panel as the filters, and I since changed my mind when I decided to add the additional filter. I went ahead and I moved the pump over to the electrical side. So everything's there. That box has a cord in it around the perimeter of it, so that's kind of watertight. It's not going to hold out a flood, but a splash isn't going to bother that. So anyway, guys, I guess for right now that's it. We'll go downstairs and we'll talk about the plumbing here and some more jabbering.